This is the second video for Wusik PR82, so if you haven't watched the first one, please check in the description for the link. Otherwise, you're going to miss important parts of the video. So, okay, we were talking about the global options for the first time, and now I'm going to start talking about the objects. So you can see here, click on an empty area to add an object, and we have audio, button, image label. Audio is going to be a sound that you loop or not. The button, you're going to have options such as change the screen from A, B, C, and D, fade in and fade out the master envelope or objects envelopes, panic to stop all the sounds, sequencer start and stop, and other options that I'm going to show in a next video. Then you have also the image and label, so you can add a logo or an image for the background that is not on the whole background, just on the corner, something like that. And labels to organize your objects like drums, and put 3 objects there for drums and stuff like that. So let's start with audio. So it's going to ask you to add the audio, and in this case, it shows here on the top. Important: audio must be in the same sample rate and bits per minute as the project. The sample rate is 48,000 and bits per minute is 120. You can select other sample rates and it's going to downsample or upsample, but it's not really ideal. The best thing is to keep the same sample rate in a project when exporting to use here, so it stays in sync correctly. So we're going to select this basic bit here, and it's going to play because my autoplay here on the global option selects to play. I can resize it using the corner icon here. You can see there's a corner triangle. Let me select another type of object so it's easier to see. It's just on the corner, it's on the bottom right corner. You should have that. Oh, let me select the white one. The white one is very easy to see. There you go. You can make any size going to adjust it to the grid as we talked before. So this is the basics. So this white button, it has several images to tell you what's going on. So it's very handy. Right now I don't have the object name showing, but I can select show. So let's rename it to drum one. I selected to show. I can hide it if I want. There's an option to duplicate or delete the object, and I can also position in a different way my label here, the drum one label. But this is done by hand. So try starting with 44 for both options, and then you start seeing what number is going to work best. So okay, just an example here. So there's my drum one. I can go to the global options as we talked before and change the font. Oh, not this one. But Verdana is still the best one, in my opinion. Oh, this one is nice too. Okay, so I have set the name. I can I can hide the name if I want, and instead use a label to show the name, because here on the object the label doesn't go outside the object. So you have to use a label if you want to do that. If you select the object with the left click, it's going to play. Select again, stops. And during the edit mode, it's not going to worry about sync or anything. It's just going to play the audio, and that's it. And if you have multiple objects, it's going to play just the one you selected, and it's going to stop the other ones. And to select an object without playing, just use the right click instead. So let's say you don't have anything selected, you right click it and select without playing. So we have to take a look at the templates. We have some very nice options for the templates. We're going to understand a bit better what happens with all the images that can be loaded. I'm going to leave this round complex because I like it. But to test out the other colors, let's start with, let me try with the white bottom, and I'm going to remove the image. So now you have the border color. Let me try with a red color. You already talked about, but don't forget the alpha is going to be the transparency. And the background color, I'm going to use a green. But you can see that the background is not showing. This is because the fill option here at the bottom is not selected. So okay, we have the border color, the background color. I can select the border color to go to the background instead of the foreground. I can adjust my shadow options here. The shadow color is going to be alpha, red, green, and blue. You have to manually type it. And in the offset and the radius, but you can also disable the shadow if you want. Then you have the background image, which we can load a texture if you want. Let's say I want a metallic texture, and you can select to stretch or not. Let's say I don't want stretch, but I want to scale it around. This is going to make it larger, so around 0.1 is going to make it smaller. And I want to make it a bit transparent. That's too much. 0.2 should be. So it shows here 0 is fully opaque, is 1 is fully transparent. So okay, I have my background image, my border color. The background color is not showing up because I have loaded an image, but I'm going to change this in the next version. So we have also the animation color. The animation color is what shows the positioning of the sound as it plays. So I'm going to put a very strong green here. And instead of beat, I'm going to put regular. And let's see what happens. I'm going to press F5 and click. So you can see that the animation color goes on top of everything. But you can see that this sound I loaded has two measures, but my global options here are four measures. Because I want to load sounds that are four measures too. So instead of changing things, I'm going to go to the bottom here, and here on measure, instead of default, I'm going to put 2. Now press F5 and play, it's going to play correct. So that's the animation color showing up. The zoom color is when you click on the button, just a color to show that you have selected the button. Is this color that you see? I can select it if I want to disable it or make it very slow. It's just a nice animation to know what's going on. Then, of course, we have the font color. So let me enable drum one again, and I'm going to put font color white. So there we go. And it's centered. It's all nice. The font size, I'm going to put something very large so I can see from the distance. And the round square is if I want to zero a fully square, or as I increase the number, it's going to be more and more round. And there is no number for a perfect circle. You have to test it because depending on the size of the object, you have to add a larger number to make it round. I'm going to put just 22 and make it smaller. And I'm going to make the background image to stretch so I can make it very large if I want. But this size is good. Then you have the size of the border. You can make a very strong border if you want. The thickness applies only when fill is not selected. So let me remove the background image. I just click it again and it removes. And now I'm going to put a very small border. And then I have the thickness of my background when fill is not enabled. So I can play with the border and the background in any way I want. But let's use fill and add an image. Let me add something else now, just test. Oh, that's a nice one. Now I can select to which screen this object belongs to. So it's screen B, I have to select screen B. Screen A, I have to select screen A. And don't forget that you will have to use a button to select which screen you want to show up. The next thing, you can assign keys on your computer keyboard to trigger the object. So if I press OK here now and press 1, it's going to select 1 as my key. Maybe you have to click on the window here so it takes focus on the background there to take focus before it works. So let's try again. Okay, 1. So if you hit play now and I press play on the 1, it starts playing. Press again, it stops. You may have to press the the background. So let's go back to edit. So I'm going to go F5 or hit play. And I'm pressing, nothing's happening because the window doesn't have focus. So I'm going to press on the background to take focus on the window and press 1. And there we go. Now I press F5 and go back to edit. I did include in the code for the window after creation to take focus, but for some reason it doesn't always work. So you have to click it. Maybe I can find a solution later on. Let me drink some water. So MIDI controller, if I press it and change it on my controller, okay, that was a bit chaotic because it's sending a lot of MIDI controller. The best one is MIDI key. So let me press a MIDI key here. Let's play here. It's working correctly. You're going to understand a bit as I talk about cueing the sound, stopping the sound, cueing to stop, cueing to start, and stuff like that. So for this video, I'm going to keep it short and just explain this area. And on the next video, I'm going to explain the rest and how to cue things up and stop and group and things like that.